You know, traveling with you has been more than just good old-fashioned fun. It's been, well, therapeutic. I know. It didn't seem like it, right? Well, I was hiding it from everyone, including myself. I can see now how much it was affecting me. I know now that clearing Ervin's name would set me free from the grief. Well, I buried my pain about Ervin for so long that I needed a nudge and a different perspective. Well, just ask. Anyway, thanks for the support, Captain. Yeah, of course. Vasco is a fantastic co-pilot. He doesn't sleep, he reacts quickly. He's a fascinating friend. That's just a fact. Which brings me back to that plan I mentioned earlier. I think I know how to move forward now. But I'm going to need your help. My contact sent a gift. Yep, my friend from Neon, who has helped me out more times than I deserve. Nope. They were confident about not being detected, but not like too confident. Seems real to me. So they found an insurance settlement. Ervin's employers got paid as compensation for sabotage. Now, they claimed they had to ditch the whole mine and all the equipment inside and construct a new mine with new equipment. They were reimbursed for all of it. It seems that the mining company got a huge payout after they won the case against Ervin. We have the settlement paperwork from their insurance. Tons of money. Oh, also the cyber runner had to move on to other work, but sent me a passcode to some computer system. I'm not sure what it goes to yet. We can just hold on to it until we figure it out. But anyway, we have enough to move forward. The missing piece here is proving that Ervin was framed. So I discovered that Ervin's original lawyer still practices law, and she'll look over everything we found. Yes, I believe so. Every case she's worked on has been in the interest of regular, everyday people. She doesn't seem to be in this for the money. I mean, heck, she said she wouldn't even charge us, for the initial consultation anyway. Ervin's case was her first case, she said. She always hated how it ended. And she's now got 2 decades of experience behind her for a rematch, too. Oh, detective. I like the sound of that. If I'm the detective, does that make you my trustworthy and sensible partner with a heart of gold? I swear it was a cliche in old detective novels. You have the hard-boiled detective who's seen it all, and the optimistic assistant who wants to save the world. Damn right we are. Anyway, we should take everything to the lawyer and see what she says. Maybe she reviews it and decides we have no case, or we need more evidence. I don't know. If we don't have a case, I can probably let it go. But I have to try. Yes, I've already arranged for my contact to drop off the evidence at our office. Oh, yep. I've got a key card for it. But I don't know what condition it's in. It's been 20 years, but I got the ventilation and power turned on, so I think it's safe. Fantastic. I knew I could count on you. You're as reliable as an atomic clock. I've sent a list of everything we found so far to the lawyer in Gagarin. You know, I actually feel optimistic about this. Lead the way, detective. Gagarin has always been a bit of a pit in my stomach. I know it wasn't related to Ervin's death, but it happened right before he died, so the events were both emotionally linked to me.
I was just thinking that this is about what Ervin saw all those years ago when he arrived. He probably stood here thinking that he was going to make things better. He had a good heart. We need to reopen the case. See if there's anything that was overlooked the first time. We've done some legwork remotely, but we need to do some good old-fashioned investigating now. Hopefully it will be enough to clear Ervin's name. Oh, you remind me of him sometimes. Wanting to make things right. And when you said it out loud, you know, I actually believe we can do it. I just hope our lawyer is as confident. Ellie Yankton. She worked on Ervin's previous case. Ellie is one of the few lawyers on this planet who's willing to take on the mining corporations in court. I sent that to our lawyer already. I asked her to confidentially review what we found. Yes, but listen. Nobody will stand up against the mining corporations around here. They're scared. She didn't want to lose the case, but she didn't have a lot to go on. Thanks to us, now she does. Right. She said she would meet us at our office when we arrive. Hopefully she can tell us what we need to do in order to clear Ervin's name. Let's stick together, though. Gagarin isn't a huge town, but it's not the kind of town that I want to get lost in. Perfect. She said she would be expecting us.
Well, well, well. Barrett, you're actually here. Astounding.
Ellie! Ellie, come on. I promised we'd stop by, didn't I?
People make promises all the time, Barrett. And most folks try to avoid Gagarin, not visit it. Anyway, I'm glad you made it out here. We have work to do, don't we? It's not a resort. It's a working town run by mining corporations. You don't come here unless you need to, and you don't stay unless you have to.
Or unless you're a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer who genuinely wants to make things better for others. Right, Ellie?
You're kind, Barrett. Yes, I suppose there's that type of person as well. Yes. It was my first case as a bright-eyed, optimistic lawyer.
Well, starting your career with a defeat is rough, Ellie.
It was. But in a way, it made me more determined. Not exactly, but similar cases. A corporation commits a crime and needs a scapegoat, so they select someone powerless to target.
The quintessential Gagarin tale.
Indeed. Down to business. Perfect. What do you already know?
So we already know that Ervin worked for Hephaestus Mining Company years ago, and they blamed him for catastrophic economic and ecological issues here on Gagarin.
Yes. He lost his case because he didn't defend himself, and we had almost no evidence without him.
I recall receiving a message asking him to appear in court a day after his funeral.
An unfortunate reality of interplanetary legal communiques, I'm afraid. He was publicly blamed for the economic woes, and his accounts were seized in compensation.
His account on Gagarin specifically. It was just the amount he was paid years ago for the job.
Right. They would have taken his assets and other settlements, but by law, his death prevented it. Well, we can bring the case to a judge here if we have new evidence or a witness.
What about the evidence we found so far?
Yes, well, about that. It's just not enough. Not on its own, no. It's circumstantial. Helpful to support our claim, but not enough. Best case scenario, we clear his name and his assets are returned, plus additional compensation. In order for me to go before a judge, I'd like to have some solid evidence pertaining to motive. The courts won't entertain a challenge to its ruling unless we're sure that something major was missed in the original trial.
What was the motive from the original trial?
We had no solid motive after our witness withdrew his testimony. Yeah, we need something major. Documentation, recordings, a witness, something.
It's been so long. How could we find anything like that?
I've thought about this a lot since the original case. The mine that Ervin worked at was shuttered in 2309. They probably still have documents relating to whatever happened there with him.
Not really. All I know is that it's a Hephaestus mine from 20 years ago, somewhere on Gagarin.
I don't have a couple decades to wait for you to search them all, so we'll need to narrow it down. Not necessarily. To Hephaestus, it might be cheaper to run away and let the dust bury it all. That's where you come in. I don't know which mine he worked at when the incident took place. In theory, you could find that information on a Foundry Terminal, if you can access it. You'll need a passcode. That's the hard part. Besides the Foundry records, there also might be something in Ervin's apartment. If he knew he was being framed, he might have held on to some documents there.
Dear Diary, today we created an ecological disaster and then blamed it on an off-worlder. Love, Hephaestus.
Funny. But you'd be surprised how often people write down things that get them into serious trouble.
Oh, do tell.
For comparison, I just finished a case against another company that was charged with illegally dumping waste near the town's water supply. Their permit specified a site that would have cost twice as much fuel, so they sent a memo to the driver to dump it at the first available location just outside of town.
They actually wrote that down. Classic. Do you think your Argos extractor's credentials could work? That would be handy.
Barrett, you brought someone with relevant work experience? I admire that.
I'm nothing if not resourceful, Ellie.
If that doesn't work, then maybe talk shop with another worker. See if they can help.
We just need to find the mine where Ervin worked 20-some years ago. How hard could that be?
Let me level with you both. It might not be possible to find enough evidence. But we may as well try, right? At least we'll know one way or another. If you'll excuse me, I have to get some court documents ready for this case.
The Foundry District isn't too far from here. I have something for you.
Didn't even have time to get my lunch.
Coordinates look valid to me. Imagine Ervin thinking the same thing all those years ago.
It's a hike.
Just a job,
The
right?
dead city.
Well, at least we know where to keep looking, right?
In the sun, with dust devils chasing us. You just want to go to Lizzy's. No one's going to eat us there.
Essentially any documentation that screams, Ervin isn't guilty, we made it up. This is what we do. We're explorers, adventurers. But yeah, other than that, it's my fight. I don't want to get anyone else involved. I guess we'll see what state the mine is in. It's possible they collapsed it before they left. We just won't know until we get there. If that's the case, we'll just have to figure something out.
If you have any problems, you should talk to Chief Pretorius. She'll help you out.
I knew I shouldn't have locked eyes with you. Dang it. What do you need?
Well, this is it. Ervin's old apartment. Here, use this key. After you, Captain. Now I get why he wanted me to look after his plants. No windows, insufficient power for proper lamps. Oh, he must have been miserable. No wonder he wrote so much. Wait a second. What about this safe? I bet it's locked by a terminal. Well, I'll be. If you ever doubted Ervin's genius, look at all this. Still chugging along 20 years later. Hold on. Is that what I think it is? Find anything helpful to the case, Captain? Ervin only lived here for a couple of months, but it felt like an eternity. Me? Oh no, definitely not. I didn't even want him to go to Gagarin. But he didn't think it would take long. It shouldn't have been a big deal. And now it's one of the few things I have left of him. After all this is said and done, I will probably do just that. The honest truth is that it was easier to ignore. That is an extremely impressive specimen. And somehow it's managed to stay alive for the past 20 years. I'll hold on to it for now and see if I can't dig up some of Ervin's research on it. Gagarin has seen some better days. Aha! Will you look at that? If we go to Town Hall, I bet we can get a copy of that hunting license. Is that Ervin's employment contract? Let me see. We've already got the coordinates to mine H363. But this will still solidify the fact that he was there. All right, we've got some solid leads, it looks like. The employment contract and the hunting license at Town Hall. The more the merrier. Unless you're Hephaestus. It was a bit strange going through Ervin's old things, though. I was hoping for some old pictures, but the plant is a good consolation prize. No, but I did find a few slates that might give us a clue, as well as a reminder to finish a physics paper that I never did. Yeah, but not for the trial. Let no one say that Ervin Madani didn't have a sentimental side. The proof is in this plant, with an assist from this self-sustaining habitat dish. I'm not sure. It might not even be a plant. It might technically be a fungus. But there's probably a reason why Ervin tried his best to keep it alive. When we get back home, I'll go through some of his research notes. It might tell us something more about this plant. Hopefully it's not poisonous. Witchcraft, probably. But if you want a more scientific explanation, I have a couple of theories. It could go through states of hibernation, or draw moisture from the air the way epiphytic plants do. There's also that habitat dish Ervin set up for it, which gave it light and nutrients. Still, I'm not ruling out witchcraft. No, maybe not. But it helps me. Ervin was the last person to handle this plant. It mattered to him. No matter how the case goes, this warms my heart. I didn't expect to find it, but I love that I did. In any event, I'll go through Ervin's notes in more detail later. There's probably a flowchart somewhere with this little guy's name on it. Oh, on that note, we should give it a name. I'm thinking something simple, yet refined. What do you think of Harvey? Then it's unanimous. Okay, the three of us should get back to it. You, me, and Harvey have a case to solve. That didn't take long at all.
All these fancy new businesses going up, and we still can't get them to open up a chunks.
You been to Clint's recently? He get crushed under all that crap yet?
You one of those corporate drones? Gagarin doesn't want you.
Been an uptick in strongly worded graffiti recently.
You ever read about the early history of spaceflight? So political. So familiar sometimes.
I've got applications in at Arcmite and Reliant. And I know most of the other applicants, so I think I'm a shoo-in.
Well, this town hall has seen better days. Hopefully that public access computer is still working. So, the hunting license was sponsored by Hephaestus after all. Ellie will be very interested to see this.
You're back. Well, what did you uncover?
Thanks, Captain. We searched Ervin's apartment and found an application for a hunting license. Compelling, right?
It's not much. Practically zero. Is that all you found?
Well, we also have a copy of the actual license sponsored by Hephaestus, too. How about that?
That's solid evidence, but likely not enough to bring it to a judge.
Opening an old case is a higher burden of proof, I'm sure.
I didn't mean to leave you with that impression, no. That is incorrect. It helps the case. It shows bad faith on the part of Hephaestus since they claimed he was not hired to hunt for them. But that's just circumstantial. It may help when we argue for a settlement value, though. If we win. Okay, now that is a solid lead. Well, don't let me stop you while you're on a roll, detectives. We can talk more later.
Careful. This place was shuttered 20 years ago. But it might have new tenants now. I can't believe Ervin came here. Like they left a lot. Or it was just cheaper. Don't you forget. We're stranded. processing. This looks like administration. Company records. Bingo. All right. Now let's go find Ervin and Helgi's lab stations. And click, you got it. was the destruction of the bacterial colonies, not the apex predators. So, they ruined the ecosystem here, and it had nothing to do with Ervin. This is it. This is what Ellie needs to see. All yours. Lights are on down here. Yes, we made a bad impression. Ow! Why? It's not uncommon for them to be homes. I know it. Did someone order extra Barrett? Nice. Scanned data can be fairly valuable. Your dreams have just come true. Again. Seems like Helgi tried to do the right thing here. I'm sure Ellie would want to see this. He's citing numerous ethics violations dating back to before Ervin's time, and Hephaestus just ignored him. Bam! Any comments? Questions? No? Good. Someone order extra Barrett? I hope Ellie is still taking names and holding people accountable around here.
Man, could I use a vacation?
That Zenaida up at the Vanguard office, she's pretty good. Nearly convinced me to hand out recruitment materials for her while I was on shift, too.
have a ship?
Ellie! Hello?
Welcome back, detectives.
Ellie, I sent you all the data from the mine already. As I'm sure you know.
Yes, I've been reviewing it. Sit down. Let's have a chat about it. Welcome back, you two. How was the trip to the mine?
You're gonna love this, Ellie.
Okay, someone better tell me. Come on.
We found the coordinates to Ervin's old work site and went there. Huge battle. Fire, explosions. Pew, 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 pew.
Barrett, please.
You should have seen the plants in there, too. Weird stuff. Anyway, you read over the documents we found there, right? What do you think?
What you both found in that mine is remarkable. These documents show that the chemicals released by the mining process contaminated the ecology even before Ervin was tasked with removing the predators. And they also show that Helgi informed Hephaestus of the issue, and it was repeatedly ignored. And with that, I think we've got ourselves a case, my friends.
Yes! That's what I wanted to hear, Ellie. Woo!
Yes, but it's still likely to lose. Because what we really need now is Helgi as our witness, and that is a problem. Helgi isn't an ideal witness at all. He was our star witness the first time, and he never showed up. Plus, he's got a reputation around town. After he quit, he went a bit weird.
Well, I can handle a bit weird. I know the captain can too.
Clearly. But the judge might feel differently. It might be worth finding some character witnesses too while you're looking for him. I'm glad you're taking it in stride. It's just, for a case with this much science, we need the man who wrote the claims to back them up. Maybe even explain it in layman's terms. That's also a bit tricky. He's hard to find. Doesn't really stay in one place for long. We could, but I think we'd lose the case, bluntly. We can verify these documents are real, but Hephaestus can counter by attacking Helgi's character. They'll label him a disgruntled employee and then find a dozen independent scientists to confirm Ervin was at fault. But with Helgi in court, he can explain the science and help me challenge any countering theories during cross-examination. You might ask Dr. Keala. She checks up on folks who fall through the cracks sometimes. You'd have to convince her to tell you where he is. That might be hard.
Sounds like we're making a stop at the med clinic. We'll be back when we convince Helgi to be a witness.
Listen, if he refuses, then he refuses. Can't force him.
Yeah, we don't want to press him too hard. The last thing we need is him refuting what he wrote. This is going to take a light touch, but I think we can handle it.
Head of security was a real hard ass. Now, if Chief Pretorius chews you out, you probably earned it. Been an uptick in strongly worded graffiti recently. Guess not everyone's a fan of the new firms coming in.
Lost? The trick to the catwalks? Just keep turning right. You'll get where you're going eventually. Or was it left?
Do you need medical assistance? Are you injured? Is there something I can help you two with?
Do you happen to know Dr. Helgi Hauksson? We're trying to get his help with something.
Sorry, who are you exactly?
We're detectives. Self-taught and unaffiliated. Freelance detectives. With the emphasis on the free part.
Wait, what? Detectives? Sorry, I don't think I know what you're talking about. No, not really. I mean, there's Ervin the Slaughterer and Ervin the Scourge of Gagarin, but I doubt that's the same person, right? I treat anyone who walks in my doors, if I'm able to. I'm sorry, I'm not a tour guide. You'll have to ask somebody else.
We're trying to help him. And Gagarin, actually.
Only every single time I see him. But listen, I don't have time to chat. Ellie's a good person. That bodes well, but I can't violate my oaths. I'm sorry. Listen, I can say that Helgi took up a job working at Clint's store just down the way. I saw him there stacking boxes the last time I picked up an order. I've got to get back to my work here, so if there's nothing else... If it's patient medical records you're after, I'll remind you, I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
We're thinking of taking Hephaestus to court with Dr. Hauksson as a witness. Now, given his situation, we're worried the defense might cast aspersions on his character, even question his mental health.
That's unfortunate, but not surprising. Look, if he agrees to testify and grants me permission, I could vouch for his well-being.
Thanks, Doc. If he does end up testifying, we'll definitely need you for the trial. Ellie Yankton will be in touch.
No promises, given patient confidentiality, but I'll do my best. I need to get back to my work now, if you don't mind.
Welcome to Clint's. Whatever you need, I'm sure I've got it lying around somewhere. Except mech parts. Don't trade those anymore, so don't waste your time asking. Well, for one, it's illegal in UC space. Making mech platforms used to be Gagarin's bread and butter. So, since they were banned in the armistice, I get 1 to 2 folks a month asking what kind of relics I might have lying around. But I'm not about to risk a contraband fine, at my age. So that's why I just lay it out up front. If you need anything, just follow the sound of falling inventory. You'll find me eventually. Gagarin. It was a military town until the end of the Colony War. Mechs were our specialty. Everyone always blabbers about Mars making the highest performance machines. But if you needed a system that wouldn't let you down in a pinch, you piloted a Gagarin. But that all dried up when the mechs were banned with the armistice. Now, we've got these new firms coming in. Arkmite, Centauri Mills. Claim they're here to revitalize the city. Which is funny, since their employees refuse to step foot in most of it. Plenty more competition for stores like mine, that's for sure. UC had a lot more money to throw around in those days. During the war, I couldn't keep the shelves stocked. At first, because of all the demand. But later, because the Freestar Collective flotillas were so damn good at picking off UC merchant craft. But the biggest difference now? The quiet. Not just because most of the forges and mines shut down. It was the testing. Firms used to drive their prototype mechs out into the canyons, way beyond the city. But you could still hear the guns all the way from here. It was like, shoo, thunder. So when the thunder stopped, well, so did Gagarin in a way. Good way to think about it. Hopefully I'll be around long enough to see the end result.
Funny you ask, because I'd like to know too. He owes me a sizable debt. Enough that he's no longer allowed in my store. I don't like denying service to anyone, but it's the principle of the matter. I've seen him around, but never in one place, except when he needs money. I offered him a job, but he showed up to work drunk one day and I had to let him go. I don't have any ill will toward him. Sure, the credits I'd like to have back, but only because it'll mean he's gotten his life together. Nobody is going to know where he is aside from someone who knows the underbelly of Gagarin. And that is Lizzy up at the bar. That's who you need to ask. You sure you got the right person? Helgi and I have had several run-ins in the past. For me, yes. But there's a lot of water.
We just need someone to serve as his character witness, given your long-standing reputation in the city.
Sure, I can say a few words. I like Helgi, but fair warning, I'm not gonna lie for him. If I'm testifying under oath, it'll be full of the good and the bad.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
You one of those corporate drones? Gagarin doesn't want you.
Well. Spritz is back.
A reputation already? I'm impressed.
Slow news day, I guess. There are very few secrets here in Gagarin, Spritz.
Just makes the ones that exist much more expensive.
It is what it is. I serve drinks here, Spritz.
We were told that you are a local crime.
We serve drinks here. Here's a list of our specials for today.
There's nothing on here.
Oh, that's strange. Here, let me fix that. Don't worry, it's just the one sale today.
Oh, right. Of course, it's a number. Here you go, Captain. All yours.
Thanks for your patronage. Sending your receipt directly to you now. We'll be sure to leave a glowing review for your establishment. Don't worry. Wait, so let me get this straight. You want the bartender to testify he's not a lousy drunk? All right, I'm no lawyer, but seems like a bad move. Also, it sounds like work. And I don't work for free.
If it's about creds, you might earn a lot of brownie points with the locals if you helped with that. Points they'd spend at your bar.
As long as I'm still alive to spend it. But fine. If you get Helgi to show up, I'll take some of the heat off of him. Don't cook yourself out there.
Why is no one talking about bringing back mechs? City was fine before Freestar banned them.
Folks on Gagarin, they just want to be left alone. Understand?
I'm gonna become a famous bounty hunter. Just like the Mantis.
I don't suppose you're here to tell me I've won a ticket to a new planet, huh?
Sorry, Doctor. Not today. We came to Gagarin to investigate Ervin Madani's contract with the mining company a long time ago. Ring any bells?
Ervin, yeah. Biologist. Hunter. Yeah, I remember him. Why? Who are you people? Then find the history slate. An ancient history slate. Because that's what it is.
Please. Ervin was once one of your colleagues. He was the one Hephaestus blamed for an ecological disaster about 20 years ago. Do you remember any of that?
No, I don't remember lies. He passed on. That's a kick in the pants, isn't it? Well, sorry for your loss and all that, but I can't bring back the dead or anything. So you can go now. Thanks.
Look, I know this is strange. We show up out of the blue about things that happened decades ago. But right now, nobody save us knows the truth. And that means we're the only ones who can clear Ervin's name.
And what of it? You probably think the sky is blue too. Well, you'd be wrong. It's whatever color Hephaestus says it is.
Only if you let them. You're a scientist. Your words matter. That's why we need you to testify.
Testify? The trial is over, the verdict rendered. In case you two clowns didn't get the memo. I remember not to talk with people who come asking questions about powerful corporations. Believe it or not, I don't need or want your money. I made enough of it by working for massive mining corporations. I don't need to risk anything else. Because I tried before, and they threatened me 20 years ago. I still wake up in fear almost every night. They said if I ever left Gagarin, I left my wife to protect her. She didn't deserve any of this. Any of my mess. Ellie Yankton. But why? It doesn't matter. Nothing's changed. I cannot do that. Why is this so hard to understand here? Not just the future. I know about a dozen cases that got the same treatment. If I'm going to go down, I might as well empty the clip. She shouldn't have told you that. What I tell her is my business. Calm down. I'm still thinking about it. You may be right.
My contact has an audio log with the identity of the speaker verified, time-stamped, everything.
If you can prove it's real, that would explain why I never showed up the first time. As opposed to, you know, Helgi being Helgi. Fine, you've convinced me. I'd be willing to testify on one condition. I want to know what happened to Ervin. Because when he disappeared, let's just say I had an epiphany. Hephaestus didn't need to say a word. That's when I knew the threats against me and my family were real.
Dr. Hauksson, it wasn't Hephaestus that took Ervin's life. It was the war. Ervin was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Caught in the crossfire.
Then I am sorry for your loss. It won't change the past for either of us. But I will testify. And maybe, wherever Ervin is, you'll be glad that we can finally stick it to those assholes at Hephaestus.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, don't get all mushy on me now. I need a drink.
Helgi agreeing to testify is a great help. We might need witnesses to vouch for his character, though. Someone in security, maybe?
Okay, you two, lay it on me. Did you find Helgi? Did he agree to testify?
Well, we've got good news and... well, that's it. Just more good news.
Okay. Does that mean he said yes? Then we better hope that our other evidence holds up. What do we look like? New Atlantis? No. Well, that is perfect. She's probably the best person to call on should Hephaestus decide to play dirty. Well, you two have done all that you could. Now it's time to hand the baton off to me.
What do you think, Ellie? Do we have a chance?
The evidence you've gathered is impressive. It truly is.
So what's the verdict? In this case, I'd say spoilers are appreciated.
I almost never say this because I don't want to jinx it, but I think this case is a slam dunk.
Huzzah! That's what I like to hear.
I think we can do everything on our checklist. Clear Ervin of any wrongdoing, charge Hephaestus with the cover-up, and even restore Helgi, Dr. Haukson's standing in the scientific community. All in all, though, really outstanding work. We wouldn't have gotten this far without your efforts. And I've got to imagine that wherever Ervin is, he appreciates it too.
Agreed, Ellie. And thanks for being our anchor in this. We should probably get out of Ellie's way and let her do her thing. We can talk more in private.
Let's talk. I set aside some time for this. Don't worry about it. For this case, I expect the paperwork to climb up the stairs and the verdict to fly out the window. So even if I did have a courier send you a court date, you'd never get here in time. But whatever the outcome, I'll make sure you and Barrett are the first to know. Well, detectives, you did the heavy lifting. Now it's my turn to close. But it's not as simple as waving the proof in somebody's face, especially with a case this old. There's appeals that have to be filed, legal proceedings, bureaucracy, the whole nine. My recommendation is you and Barrett take some time off. Travel the galaxy, see the sights. I'll send him a message when I have some actual news. I've always been passionate about environmental law, so coming here was a natural fit. But I'm not gonna lie. There were times I almost let go of the rope. Losing Ervin's case really shook me. Imagine having all these wild ideas about how you were going to end corporate malfeasance, and I couldn't even win one case. But you can only cry about it for so long. I told myself to suck it up and win the next one, and the one after that. It didn't matter how many tries it took, I'd just keep chiseling away at the whole justice system until I made a crack. That's right. And the one thing I've learned is there's no one case that'll solve everything. It's a process. Not as many as I should, given the contracts these miners are signing. Most of the time, I'm just here to remind folks they've got rights. A piece of paper can make you do a lot of things, but it can't break the law. Good luck.
Wow, we actually did it! Solved the case. And hopefully cleared Ervin's name. I feel like... what's the old saying? A great weight has been lifted off my shoulders? But it's actually true. I feel like I'm 80% biomass and 20% aerogel. It's a substance that is literally lighter than air, depending on the planet. Habitable planets tend to range from 1 to 2 milligrams per cubic centimeter. Most aerogels are about 1/10 of that. I feel like I'm currently hovering in that territory. Give or take 1/10. Thanks. I was trying not to be too optimistic about our chances, because that's when a cosmic reversal kicks in. But I think it's okay in this case. We've already proven Ervin's innocence, and I trust Ellie to explain it. I hope so. It's always a tug-of-war between the workers and the mining corps. But there's one thing we've got in our favor. There's more of us than there are of them. All it takes is for the people to realize it. Ellie would know better than I, but I doubt it'll be anytime soon. These things tend to involve a lot of red tape. It's a special kind of adhesive that makes you stick to old filing cabinets and manila envelopes. I'm feeling great. Although I could do with some wine and cheese. Why stop at emotional satisfaction when we can indulge in the culinary too? But if I can be serious for a moment, thank you. I couldn't have done this without your help. That makes 2 of us. 3 if you count Harvey. And who wouldn't? He's practically family. In fact, Harvey's got a little explorer in him too. According to this slate I found, turns out that our spiky friend's been all across the galaxy. The plant? From Ervin's apartment? Just look at the slate. It'll explain. You know what? He just might. But it's probably best you chart the course. Harvey doesn't do well with things that require hands. We've been through a lot, haven't we? I had forgotten what it was like to work with someone so closely. When you joined Constellation, I didn't know what to expect. I was just reflecting on everything we've been through, you know? It's impressive. On top of everything else we've done together and with Constellation, yeah, I think so. Investigating Ervin's case with you is something I'll remember forever. I've come to realize that some events, some people, stand out as pillars of my life. It's whatever leaves an impression on you, right? Moments that define our lives, where our future diverged from our expectations. People who changed you, or people you've changed. When I packed my lunch the other day, I thought of my grandmother doing the same for me as a child. She knew I appreciated even if I didn't know how to say so yet. I hope she knew anyway. We only get a brief moment in this universe to interact, to feel, to be who we are and experience the range of emotions that our bodies and minds have evolved to comprehend. Maybe I did, but this is all from my heart, my friend. And the definition of that changes for everybody. If one is fortunate, you might even notice events and people changing you while it is in motion. Well, that's what I'm asking you, actually. You're playing with me, aren't you? Well, I'm almost done. Just listen. I've explored many worlds, and I've worked with Constellation for most of my life. I cherish those memories. But you have changed me as a person forever. I don't want to look back years from now and wonder what if. I need to know what you think about us. No, not always. There are many ways to make someone feel loved. And you have done well in that regard. But I need this moment in my mind. I need to be able to look back and remember what we had in our hearts right here, right now. Here we are. the most fortunate people in the galaxy because we get to explore it all together as friends.
Hello, detectives.
So the other day, I went on a rescue mission. An asteroid was slated to hit a moon in one of the outer systems, and I wanted to get some genetic samples before they went extinct. Well, I managed to get one. This suspiciously cactus-looking thing here. I didn't know what it was, only that it was beautiful. It's not until I scanned it back home that I realized it wasn't native to the system. The flora was alien. Somehow, a seed had stowed away on someone's ship and managed to plant itself on this unremarkable moon like a rogue dandelion clock dancing through space. And I thought, well, isn't that a kindred spirit? This whimsical little cactus is an explorer just like us. To me, what we do at Constellation is always bittersweet. When we explore new worlds, we leave our homes behind. In a way, that's what this plant represents. It's a hello and a goodbye. So, I'm giving this plant to you, Barrett, in hopes that you never lose your sense of adventure and the places you call home. Let it be a celebration of every long goodbye and each new beginning.